Ukraine, 5 Ukrainian officials arrested over theft of $40 million.
You don't say.
No, in war funds as Ukraine corruption persists. So what do you mean 5 Ukrainian officials got $40 million? Okay, so 5 Ukrainian officials have been arrested for allegedly embezzling nearly $40 million in funds designated for the purchase of military equipment for the war against Russia. The individuals are accused of conspiring with a Ukrainian armed firm to misappropriate the funds intended for acquiring 100,000 mortar shells. Ukraine's ongoing struggle with corruption has raised concerns, particularly regarding international aid. Some critics in the U.S. have questioned whether to provide more aid to Ukraine in light of these issues. Zelensky, the greatest campaigner beggar of all time, that's not the story, that's me putting it in there, who campaigned on an anti-graft platform, has faced challenges in addressing corruption. Despite this, Ukraine's officials' efforts to push back Russia's invasion have faced difficulties with limited successes in the counteroffensive primary and grain exports and actions against Russia's Black Sea fleet. This is when people realize when you send money. I had a guy calls me, says, Pat, this was very early on when we started giving money to Ukraine. Says, Pat, they're making a lot of money on the inside, a lot of military leaders. I'm like, dude, I'm not buying it. He says, I'm telling you, this guy was in over there, okay, sitting down with some of the top military leaders working with, Zelensky. He says, you have no idea how much money is being made right now, okay? You have no idea how much money is being made right now. And, you get some of these stories that's sent to you through Signal, through WhatsApp and all this stuff. Yeah, you take it for granted. Like, I don't. But that was month 1, month 2, month 3, okay? Now this comes out. 5 of these guys are getting arrested for using $40 million of funds that was used to buy military weapons. Tom, when you read a story like this, how do you process this?
Well, first of all, Nikki Haley's probably upset because, damn it, that money belonged to Boeing.
Yep.
Wow, what a point there.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That money should have come back to Boeing. Well, first of all, I always look for false flags, and maybe I'm thinking too much about this. Is this really people trying to reach in and trying to find what's going on? Or is this taking, remember, how many billions have been sent over there with a big B? Billions, double-digit billions have been sent over there. And so we got 5 guys with 40 million. That's like saying I won the war on drug because I caught Snoop's cousin with 5 pounds of marijuana. Come on. I look at this and I think it's a drop of the bucket compared to the true corruption that's going on over there, Pat. This is a drop in the bucket. And I wonder if it's just like a little planted story, 5 guys getting arrested to take
By who, though? By who?
Who arrested them?
No, meaning who planted the story?
Who
would do it? Whose motive would it be to plant the story?
I think it'd be Zelensky's motive. Zelensky wants to call off the dogs because you've got half the Republican Party has woken up to the fact and think this guy is a beggar just taking the billions home, and it's an incredibly corrupt country. And there were CIA reports that said it was an incredibly corrupt country decades before the Russian invasion. And so what would be convenient for Zelensky? You know what? We got to bust some guys, and we got to make this thing look good.
Rob, can you look up who these 5 guys are, by the way?
Yeah. By the way,
see how high-ranking these military guys are. Go ahead.
And Tom, by the way, guys, this is $40 million. Kelly made this point yesterday that we know. This is what they reported. Can you imagine how much money has gone and God knows what they're doing? And by the way, just a little fun fact. Do you know who's going to be rebuilding Ukraine?
Yeah, BlackRock.
BlackRock.
Yeah.
Larry Fink with Zelensky. That's the whole goal. That's the whole. Let's keep sending money and let's keep supporting these people and keep wearing your flag on your shirt. That's what you're paying your money to.
That's why they call it the military-industrial complex. There's a lot of money in war.
It's complex.
And then there's the industrial part.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's that. Look, if there's anybody that's upset about what's going on in the Middle East with Iran and the Houthis and the Hamas and everything like that, it's Volodymyr Zelensky right now.
Ukraine's Secret Service, so we're going to assume Zelensky knows about those guys.
Yeah.
Security Service.
Security Service.
Security Service. Mm-hmm. The Ukrainian arms firm. Employees of a Ukrainian arms firm, because probably the Ukraine's defense ministry officials, it doesn't say who it is, to embezzle the funds. Okay, so guess what? That's an awful lot of corruption. You got the employees who are corrupt, the defense ministry guys who are corrupt, and the Ukraine's SBU Security Service. The contract was for shells was clinched with Lviv Live Arsenal in August.
By the way, you know what's going to happen? He'll come right back to Congress. They'll give him the red carpet. They'll be like, "You have to give me money," and they'll give him. Trust me, he'll just.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
If he came right now this week, they'd roll out the red carpet and they'd give him whatever he wants. It's never going to stop.
I don't know about
what I'm saying to you is, I think they will, but I think what is starting to happen is, it used to be everybody wore the Ukraine, what do you call it?
Pin.
By the way, did you see Jamie Dimon saying, "I'm not woke at all, I'm not this, I'm not that"? Maybe we'll go back to that. Rob, if you can prepare that clip, we'll go to that in a minute. How many people were you seeing Ukraine flags?
Everybody.
How many Ukraine Instagram posts did you see? How many Ukraine, I stand with Ukraine, the flags
100%.
everywhere?
All the
What's happened
bios?
to all those flags?
They're gone, just like the
Why,
BLM
though?
and all that stuff. Yeah, it dies out.
But the point is, like, people are sitting there saying, look, man, maybe I supported something that these guys were a money job, and let's stop talking about it. So then the politicians, I see you, then the politicians will take it and they'll redirect with the story and say, okay, guys, we got to distract Americans because we cannot talk about Ukraine anymore. Throw a whole new different story so America can get over Ukraine and all the money we spend. Trust me, Americans have a short-term memory. They're like Finding Nemo. They'll forget about it and move on to the next thing. And that's what they're going through. They don't want another Zelensky at the house. If the left is smart, they won't have another Zelensky at the house because they're making themselves look like idiots. Strategically, it's the dumbest move if they allow Zelensky to come and raise money again. It's the same thing like Rachel Maddow and E. Jean Carroll thinking it's working. It's not. So I'm hoping they do it again.
Yeah.
I want them to do it. Go ahead and do it again. I dare you. Do it again. But if they're smart and strategic and not dumb and oblivious, they won't do it again.
I'm with you. I want pictures this election year. Bring him over to dinner. Have a state dinner.
That's right.
Do it again. Give me a timestamp of March 2024.
Yeah.
Let me use that.
I mean, to put it in sort of a weird metaphor, he's the ex-girlfriend that we forgot about. Everyone's focused on Gaza and Israel these days. God forbid there's something happens with China and Taiwan. Ukraine and Russia is the last on the list. In 2021, when does everything kind of get it started? 2022, it was all the top of mind. Everyone's wearing the pin. We saw Bill Clinton was wearing a pin, I think, recently. We saw him.
Jamie Dimon was wearing
And a
Jeremy
picture.
Diamond. Yeah. So it's just not top of mind. And by the way, I'd like to get the EU's response on this because it didn't basically say whose money they stole. The U.S. has given money. The EU has given money. I don't know if whoever it is, they give money. But what they should have done, you remember when Biden hired, 20,000 IRS agents when he came into office? Go send some of those agents with guns, by the way. They were allowed to have guns. Go send them over to Ukraine. So it just goes to show that we have no clue what's going on there. What was the story a few months ago when they put an extra zero on a check? It was like $6 billion that went awry.
Yep. Well, then that's our money. That's our money.
Question for you. Are you partying? What are you doing tonight? What plans you got tonight?
He's asking you serious.
Zelensky in town?
Asking, what are you doing tonight?
What are you doing tonight?
What you got?
Joe Biden's in town. Joe's going to be in Miami.
What? Yeah. He's going to Miami? He probably doesn't even know where he is.
He's going to be in Miami, so you may want to call him and say, look, man, JB, it's my birthday. Can we do something?
Let me give him a call.
Text real quick. He's going to be in town.
Joe?
I'm hanging with a whole bunch of institutional investors down there. I wonder.
Is he actually in Miami?
Yeah, he's in Miami tonight.
He's in Miami.
Just so you know, he's in Miami tonight. So
he won't know he's in Miami, but he's going to be there.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.